All right, let's talk about a silent arms race that's happening right now, right inside our computers. It's all about the digital locks, the ones that protect our money, our private messages, our entire digital identities. And there's a new kind of key on the horizon, one that threatens to break every single one of them. So yeah, I'm asking you directly, is your entire digital life about to become totally insecure? I know that sounds dramatic, but think about it. From your bank account to your emails, pretty much everything is locked down by a digital signature. But what happens if the very foundation of all that security is about to just crack? Well, let's dive in. So here's the deal. Our digital locks are, well, breaking. The fundamental problem is that the math that makes our current security so strong, it's about to become solvable. There's this new kind of computer coming, and believe me, it speaks a completely different language of math. Okay, so think of it like this. Our encryption today, it's like a lock based on a math problem so insanely hard that our best classical computers would need like thousands of years to crack it. That's the whole point, right? But for these new quantum computers, that impossibly hard problem is, well, it's child's play. They're not just going to pick the lock, they are going to shatter it. It'll be like the lock was never even there to begin with. Poof, gone. And look, this isn't me just trying to scare you. This is a direct quote from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, the folks who set the official standards for this stuff. They're saying the systems that power basically everything, secure online shopping, your banking app, private communications, all of them rely on math problems that quantum computers will eventually just solve. So yeah, the race is on. We have to find a replacement before that happens. So if you need a brand new kind of lock for a completely new era, what do? Well, you hold a global competition. And that's exactly what NIST did. They kicked off this massive, multi-year, worldwide hunt for new crypto that could actually survive a quantum attack. Just take a look at this timeline. This was no quick fix. It started way back in 2016. The smartest cryptographers from literally all over the globe sent in their best ideas. And then the battle began. These algorithms were attacked, picked apart, and scrutinized by the entire global security community for years. It was a brutal, rigorous process designed to make sure that only the absolute strongest would survive. 82. Just let that number sink in. 82 different algorithms started this journey. That is a huge number of contenders. It was basically the Hunger Games for cryptography, a massive tournament where only a tiny handful of winners would get to define the future of, well, all of our digital security. So after all that, after years of intense evaluation, we have a winner. A new standard, a new foundation for our security, one that's built from the ground up to be ready for a quantum world. And here it is, FIPS 204. Okay, I know, the name, Federal Information Processing Standard 204, doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. It's not flashy, but don't let that fool you. This document, this is probably one of the most important upgrades to our entire digital world in a generation. No exaggeration. So what's inside FIPS 204? It's the algorithm itself. MLDSA. That's short for Module Lattice-Based Digital Signature Algorithm. Now, its job is basically the same as the old security we've been using for years. Proving you are who you say you are and making sure a message or a file hasn't been messed with. The what is the same, but the how? Well, that's radically new. And this quote from the official document says it all. Pay attention to the wording. Believed to be secure even against adversaries in possession of a large-scale quantum computer. That's the whole ballgame right there. This isn't just some small patch or a quick fix. This is designed to be a full-on quantum-resistant shield. And this new standard keeps a really critical feature that we absolutely need, called non-repudiation. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. Once you digitally sign something with MLDSA, you can't turn around later and say, nope, wasn't me. It's the digital version of a rock-solid, legally binding signature in ink that you just can't forge or deny. All right, so what is the secret sauce here? We know the old locks were based on the difficulty of factoring huge numbers. The new locks? They're based on something totally different called lattices. And don't worry, we're going to break down the basic idea without getting bogged down in crazy math. At its core, it's like a simple three-step dance between two parties. Okay, so first, let's say I'm the prover. I generate a secret and I send you a commitment to it. Step 2, you, the verifier, send me back a random challenge. And finally, step 3, I send back a response that absolutely proves I know the secret, but, and this is the magic part, without ever actually revealing the secret itself. This whole thing is called a zero-knowledge proof, and it's the engine behind this new security. Now, the whole reason this works is because that three-step dance is based on some ridiculously hard math problems. You can see the names here, just forget them, they're not important. Think about it like this instead. Imagine I give you millions of data points scattered throughout a billion-dimensional space, and I tell you these points are almost on a perfect hidden grid. Your job is to find that grid. It would be like trying to find one specific needle in a haystack the size of the entire cosmos. That's the kind of problem we're talking about, one that's believed to be so hard that even a powerful quantum computer would just get lost trying to solve it. Okay, so we have the theory, we have the official standard. That's all great, but what does this actually mean for the real world? How is this new quantum lock going to be used to protect you and me? One of the really smart things about MLDSA is that it isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. As you can see here, it comes in different flavors, different security levels. You can kind of think of it like choosing a lock. You might use a decent lock for your front door, a much better one for a business, and a full-on bank vault door for, well, a bank. You get to pick the security strength you need. The only trade-off is that stronger security means the keys and the signatures get a little bigger. So where are we actually going to see this new standard in action? The short answer is everywhere. This list is straight out of the official document. We're talking about securing your bank transfers. We're talking about making sure your emails are authentic. We're talking about guaranteeing that the software you download is the real deal and not some malware. It's basically the new plumbing for our entire system of digital trust. So who has to adopt this first? The rollout is going to start with the US federal government. They're now required to use these new standards for protecting sensitive info. But, and this is super important, the document makes it really clear that this is available and frankly intended for everyone else too. Private companies, commercial businesses. The whole world is basically being invited to make this critical upgrade. Let's just wrap up by looking at the stakes here, because this really says it all. Right now, today, our security is pretty strong. But in a future with quantum computers, if we do nothing, if we don't have FIPS 204, we're looking at a critical, catastrophic failure. But with this new standard, with algorithms like MLDSA, we can bring that security right back up to where it needs to be. So the quantum transition, it's already begun. The tools are here, the standards have been written. We are right at the start of the single biggest upgrade in the history of cybersecurity, moving from a classical lock to a quantum-proof one. The real question now is, are we ready to rebuild our digital trust for this new era? And how fast can we get it done?